trying to get some dates from this lady in a car. Let me tell you, her story is very powerful. After immigrating to the United States at an early age, Stacey Ann Williams, evangelist now, was forced to become a child of the streets. Walked a winding road that has ultimately led her to evangelism, and she joins us now in studio to share her story. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Good to have you. What a journey you have had. Yeah. Early baptism at 10, pregnancy at 13. Let me see if I can look back. You went to the States, went to prison at 17, deported in 2002, ended up in exotic dancing after deportation, and some other things in your life. Let's talk a little bit about that journey. How were you raised? In what kind of family environment were you raised, and how did that contribute?
Well,
to
I grew up in a spiritual home. Mm-hmm. I grew up hearing about God, but on the other hand, there were rituals that was being done that I became knowledgeable of the older I got. So my grand aunt would make sacrifices to animals, etc. They were Indians, and from seeing such thing at that age, I started to become rebellious. Mm. I went to Arden High School, and that's where it all started. I was more in control of traveling by myself now without being accompanied of anyone. So I started to do my own thing because of the things that I was seeing and how things were being in the home where I was.
Yeah. So you didn't have a lot of supervision?
Yes, I had great supervision. So when I went to high school was when I felt free.
Gotcha.
I had no one to go with me. Yes, back and forth.
Gotcha. How did you deal with pregnancy at 13?
Oh, well, it all started when I met my mom. I met my mom when I was about 9 or 10, and she decided to take me to the States to be with her because my grand aunt got ill. So she took me out of Arden High School, first form, and when I went to the States, she was literally living in London, but she took me to Philadelphia until she recuperated and got herself together. And I went to Martin Luther King High School in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. And while I was going there, I was living with her aunt and her sister. And I wasn't as comfy as I was back home. And I guess she was getting a lot of bad reports about me that she wasn't pleased with. And she came across, and the relationship became abusive verbally and physically. This is when I decided to leave. I was fresh in the States, but I decided to run away. And I started living in the streets of Philadelphia. That's how I got pregnant at 13. I lost my virginity there.
Well, in the streets?
In the streets.
And I mean, obviously it's downhill from there. So the prison...
Right. No, well, from there on, I ended up in New York, still being pregnant, having to stay now with my aunt, where she offered me to sleep on a couch. That was the only available spot there at the time. And she came to find out that I was pregnant and told me in order for me to stay, I would have to do the abortion. It was my first pregnancy. Coming from Jamaica, we don't believe in that back then. And I was forced to do an abortion at 13, which I did. I complied with. And from there on, I got kicked out of her home, living in the car, in the streets in New York, Queens, sleeping in the car in the snow for a couple of months, almost a year, for a couple of months, yes, in the same yard. She wouldn't pay me any attention at all until my grand aunt came back from Jamaica. I ended up in Florida. That's where I got pregnant, had the kids, went to prison, became a ward to the state. I was living in an abandoned building. I was bathing in the complex of the pool apartments. I was living out of a black garbage bag. I used to dress, go and hang out with other young teenagers as myself, as if I lived there. But I was actually in an abandoned building. I had to wait until everyone go in, then I would take my bath in the pool. Yeah.
How does somebody go through all of that and turn it around?
Had to be God. Had to be God.
How did you reconnect?
Well, after going through all those trauma in Florida, then I had my first child at 16. I got pregnant again at 15, and I started to live in a shelter with her. They took me and put me in a foster home. My child was taken away from me because I had no stability. Mm-hmm. I turned her over for adoption to one of my foster moms that I was living with. My oldest daughter is now 25, about to be 26. I'm also a grandmother. And then I had my
So you reconnected with her?
Yeah, she actually came to Jamaica and lived with me for like 3 years and went back up.
Okay.
And while I was still in the streets, I ended up getting pregnant again with my second daughter. That child is 24. That's the one that gave me the grant. And then I got pregnant again, and I had multiple attempted murder charges, aggravated battery. Yes, I started getting in trouble. I was in a gang. Murder was committed in my presence while I was there, so I was charged with it also. So I was being transferred from Broward County to DeKalb County in Atlanta, Georgia, trying to face these multiple charges. Somehow I got off them. I just got sentenced, I did my time, and then I ended up getting deported. But while I was in prison, that was, you know, I felt like I went to prison. I felt like I committed a crime. I had to pay the price. But I believe that God had me go there for rescue purpose. It was the only way that I could be here sitting with you today.
Or else you probably would have.
Yes, he placed us in these situations. He used the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. So I believe I had to be there. I was sure about my 3 meals per day, and I was also sure about having a good night rest. But what happened was that, you know, the devil showed up while I was there. In many ways, I can recall waking up one morning and everybody around me looked like a man. That's when the spirit of homosexuality entered me. I battled with homosexuality in prison, and I attempted to do it. I wasn't successful at doing it, but feelings came up strongly. It was something that I wanted to try, something that seems as if it was fun and it was joy. You know, after all, I'm in prison all these years, so it's nothing better to do, but I wasn't successful at the intercourse part. So, you know, God had rescued me from that. So I overcome that hurdle there. And from there on, I kept going on and on and on and on until it was time for deportation.
Yeah. So now you're an evangelist.
Yes, I am.
You came back, you were deported when you came back home.
But before I even get there, I forgot to tell you, when I was sentenced to prison, I first went to jail. When I was sentenced, I was pregnant. So I gave birth to my third daughter in prison with both of my hands handcuffed to the bed, and I had to deliver that way. So after getting deported back to Jamaica, the struggle, history reversed itself. There was no stability. My grandaunt that I was always used to passed away the same year that I got deported. I was running back and forth from Portland to Kingston. I ended up with some very great artists that I had affairs with. You know, wisdom will let me not mention their name, but I was
even
used.
Even with a pastor, no?
Well, I even ended up with the pastor, the same one that led me to Christ. He told me that the Lord said that I was his wife. And I just want to tell people, get to know God for yourself, because I was lacking the word of God as to why I stayed believing that this was in fact my husband.
We have to go to news. Your story has many more chapters. When is the book going to be written?
Well, the book is already out.
Okay.
I gave a cover of it. It will be released next year, February, March.
What's it called?
Converted from the fruit of sin to the fruit of spirit.
Okay. Wow. I wish we had more time, but we have to go. Glad you were able to turn it around, Stacey, and that you're still with us.
Yes.
And that you're now on a different path. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
You.
Stacey Ann Williams, evangelist and motivational speaker. Okay, we're switching lanes when we come back. We're going to talk about some of your dating deal breakers. That's a topic on the table in Girl Talk. But first, here's News in 5.